Canto 1. Midway, upon the course of this our life, I found myself within a gloomy wood, for I had wandered from the path direct. Who could relate how wild this wood was? It's so hard to say, how stark and rough. The very thought of it renews my fear so bitterly that death seems almost near. How I came to be there, I cannot say for sure. I was so deeply bound by sleep as I departed from the path of truth. But when I saw that I'd come to stand below a hill closing off the valley, which had set the sting of fear in my heart, I looked up, to see there its summit touched already by that planet's shining beam that guides man's footsteps on every path. Then was the fear a little quieted that in my heart had lain, weighing on me all through that dreadful night. And like a man who, crawling from the sea upon a shore, breathes slow and weakly, then turns to regard the dangerous water, my soul, which urged me onward to further flight, then turned back to contemplate the way by which I came, which none was ever known to leave alive. I rested a while my weary body, then up the desolate rise pursued my way. But scarcely had I begun my climbing when out sprang a leopard, swift and nimble, covered by a fine fur and dappled hide. Always it crept before me. My way was blocked so thoroughly that time after time I turned about to make my safe retreat. But the hour was early. The rising sun, displacing the stars which glitter with that love divine, offered me encouragement and some hope regarding that beast with the spotted coat. Yet not so much that the vision of a lion appearing to me did not terrify. He seemed to rush at me with head erect, roaring so with hunger even the air itself seemed filled with fear. Then a she-wolf, that in her meagreness appeared to bear the sum of every want, instilled such fear and anxiety in my heart that now I lost all hope of reaching the summit. No peace was offered by that hungry beast. It came at me and pressed me back and down to where the sun is mute. Now as I fled down to the lower ground, before my eyes one came in sight who seemed to have become voiceless from silence overlong maintained. I cried out to him, "Take pity on me, whatever you are, man or simply shade." "No man," he answered. "Once I was a man. I was born under Julius, though late, and lived in Rome when good Augustus reigned, along with false and lying deities. I was a poet. I sang of that just son of Anchises who came from Ilium when haughty Troy was set ablaze. But why are you returning to such torment? Why do you not climb up this blissful mountain, the source and origin of every joy?" "Can you be Virgil? Are you that fountain from which flowed so rich a river of speech?" I answered, overcome, and bowed my head. "O light and glory of all poets since, I pondered your verses with such great love. From you alone I learnt the noble style through which honour has been awarded me. Look at this beast from which I turned away. Help me, teacher, protect me from her who sets my pulses trembling through their veins." "You must follow another path," he said, as he saw me weeping there, "if you wish to escape this wild place. The beast against whom you raise your cry will not let living souls pass by this way. She kills them. So vicious is her nature and so grim. Her craving will is never satisfied. Each meal makes her hungrier than before. She mates with many other creatures and will go on mating with many more. Yet that greyhound comes who brings her painful death. He will not feed himself on land or gold, but wisdom, love, and virtue. He comes to save the Italy for which Camilla died a maid, and Euryalus, Nisus, and Turnus bled. Through every city he will hunt her back to hell, where envy loosed her first. So for your own good, I think, you ought to follow me. I will guide you through an eternal place where you will hear harsh noises of despair, where you will see long-departed spirits, each one screaming of their second death. Then there will be those who lie content in fire, because they hope some day to wander among the blessed, to whom, if you truly wish to climb, a soul worthier than I will lead you. I will leave you with her, and then return, because the Emperor who reigns above will not admit me to his fair city, since, living, I rebelled against his law. In every place he reigns, and there he rules. There is his seat, there is his lofty throne. Happy the man who chooses to be there. I said to him, "Poet, please, by that God I beseech you, the God you did not know, help me to escape this evil, and worse. Lead me to the place you've spoken of, so I may gaze upon St. Peter's Gate, and those you say who languish in such pain." He moved on, and I went after him. Canto 2. Day was departing, and the fading light allowed the beasts that walk and crawl the earth to cease their labour. I, one man alone, was gathering up my powers to maintain the struggle with the road, an unbearable pity, which, faithfully, my memory shall recall. "Poet, you're my guide," I then began. "Tell me if I'm worthy, before you commit me to this fearful journey. You wrote that young Silvius, his father, dressed still in living flesh, went to the infernal place, and with all his faculties intact. But why should I go? Who permits it? I'm no Aeneas, I'm not Paul. Nor I, nor others deem me that worthy. Why should I embark upon this journey? I fear a foolish ending. You're wise. You understand more than my words express." And as a man who unwilled what he willed, changing his plan because of second thoughts, standing upon that dim slope, so did I. "If I have truly understood your words," the shade generously answered, "your soul is burdened with that sense of cowardice which often encumbers man, turning him from more honourable enterprises, like a frightened beast shying in the dusk. Let me explain and free you from your fears. I will tell you the reasons I'm here, and what I heard to make me pity you. I was with the dead, who are in suspense, when a lady, most blessed and beautiful, summoned me. I implored her to command. Angelical, with eyes more bright than stars, she began addressing me in a tone dulcet and low, with words of her own tongue. O courteous Mantuan soul, whose fame lives on within the world, and will while creation still endures, a friend of mine, though not of fortunes, is so beset upon his journey up the desert slope by obstacles, his dread has turned him round. Even now I fear he may be so strayed that I come too late to give him succour. So stir yourself, and with your polished phrase, and what else is needful for his escape, go to his aid. Then I will be consoled. I am Beatrice, who urges you to go. Love urged me on, and love now makes me speak. When I stand again before my Lord in heaven, I shall sing your praises to him." She fell silent then. I began to speak. "Virtuous lady, I am so happy to obey at your behest, that were it already done, that would still be too slow. But tell me how you dared descend, falling down to this centre, from the open space to where your zeal is burning to return." "As you ask, I will explain briefly," she replied. "I come here without fear, since fear is inspired only by harmful things, not because they are fearsome in themselves. God, in his grace, gave me such a nature that torments such as yours will not touch me, flames of hell-fire have no power against me. High in heaven, a noble lady grieves the lot which fell the one I send you to. It is her pity breaks its stern decree. She sent Lucia with her request, saying, Beatrice, your faithful one now needs you. I commend him to your care. Lucia, an enemy to everything cruel, moved and came to where I sat beside Rachel, ancient of years. Then she said to me, Will you not help him who loved you so much he left the common crowd because of you? Do you not hear his pitiful complaint? Do you not see the death that hounds him, there by that river the sea cannot conquer? No one on earth was so swift to run from loss or reap reward as I on hearing such words uttered. Down I came, leaving my blissful seat to put trust in your noble speech, which honours you, and honoured those who heard it. She turned away then, once she had spoken. Her shining, tearful eyes made me all the swifter in coming. So I come for you at her request, to free you from the wild beast that blocked the way that leads directly up the blissful hill. What is wrong? Why do you delay here? Why nurse your cowardice within your heart? Why do you not display a dauntless zeal, since 3 such blessed ladies care for you within the court of heaven, and my words, too, bring promise of such good things? As drooping flowers, closed by chilly night, rise upon the stalk with the shining sun, my spirits rose and my failing powers. A bolt of warming courage struck my heart, like one set free of fear. I cried to him, "Oh, gracious lady, who chose to help me, and you, kindly one, obeying so quick those words of truth she uttered in your ears. My heart is moved. At your speech I am filled again with a desire to carry on and follow you. I've recovered my original purpose. Let's press on. Between us now there is a single will. You are my guide, my teacher, and my lord." These were my words. So, following behind, I entered on that steep and savage path. Canto 3. I am the way to the city of woe. I am the way into eternal pain. I am the way to a deserted race. Justice inspired my mighty architect. Omnipotence divine constructed me with almighty wisdom and primal love. Before me nothing was created but those things eternal. I endure forever. Abandon all hope, you who enter here. This bleak message I saw carved and painted above a portal. "What hard words, master," I said. He, from experience, answered, "Now you must lay behind you every fear. Here all the cowardice in you must die. This is the place I spoke of. Souls suffer here who lost the good of intellect." Then, taking my hand in his and smiling comfort, he led me through to secret things. The starless air resounded here with sighs, and echoed with strange shrieks and lamentations. They made me weep at first, these anguished cries, these vile voices, deep and hoarse and angry. Joined with beating hands, a babbling chorus raised a twisting tumult that revolved unceasing through the timeless murk like sand that eddies round and round a whirlwind storm. "Master," I said, circled by the horror, "what is it I hear? Who are these that seem so overcome with grief?" And he replied, "These wretched souls are those who, while they lived, achieved neither blame nor praise. Mingled with them is that evil band of angels who were neither rebels nor found true to God. They were faithful to themselves alone. Heaven cast them out for imperfection, but hell's deeps would not receive them. The damned souls might glory over them." Then I asked, What torment do they suffer that causes such loud lament? They have no hope of death, he answered. Their blind life is so shameful, any other fate fills them with envy. No memory of these persists on earth. They are disdained by justice and pity. Enough, let's not talk of them, and with a glance pass on. I saw a banner then rush past, whirling furiously without a pause to take a stand. Behind it trailed multitudes of souls in such numbers I wondered that death had taken so many. I knew some, looking closer. The shade of that coward who made the great refusal I recognized, and understood at once this company of evil ones was hateful to God and to his foes. These luckless shades, who never really lived, passed by unclothed, goaded by hornet stings and wasps. Down their faces ran mingled blood and tears, food for the loathsome worms crawling at their feet. Then, looking beyond them, I saw a crowd gathered on the bank of a great river. "Master," I said, "who are these? What makes them so eager to cross?" And he said to me, "All will be revealed to you when we pause upon the mournful banks of Acheron." I walked on, abashed and with downcast eyes, fearing that my chatter had troubled him. I said nothing more until the river, where, coming towards us, I saw a boat, whose ancient white-haired pilot shouted out,
"Woe to you, you wicked souls! Abandon here any thought of heaven. I come to lead you to the other bank, to everlasting darkness, fire, and ice. You there, living soul, get away from these, they are the dead."
But when he saw I made no move, he said,
"You shall not go by here. Reach the farther shore through another path by a different gate. Take the lighter boat."
"Charon, control your anger," said my guide. "This is willed, where will has every power. Do not seek to know any more." Silence then took the woolly cheeks of the pilot of that ghastly marsh, whose eyes were circled round with glowing rings of fire. The spirits, naked, in despair, then lost all colour, and began to grind their teeth at such words of doom. They cursed God, their parents, and all humanity. They cursed the place, the time, even their birth, and the line that bore them. Then, weeping, clustered on the wicked bank which waits for every man who fears not God. Charon, with his eyes blazing, lined them up, smacking the laggard sinners with his oar. And as in autumn, when withered leaves fall one by one until only the bare branch remains as witness, so Adam's wicked seed drop into the boat and depart across the waters. Before they land there, another starts collecting on this side. "My son," the master kindly said to me, "all who die in God's anger, anywhere, assemble here, eager to cross the stream. Divine justice spurs them on by turning all their dread into desire. No good soul ever comes by here. If Charon complains, now you know the meaning behind his words." After he had spoken, the place shook so strongly, the fearful memory makes me sweat. The tear-stained earth discharged a sudden blast of wind and a flash of scarlet light, which completely took my senses from me, and I fell like one overcome with sleep.